Good morning, traders. So let's have a look at the Dow Jones this morning. At the moment, we are up 0.36%, which is kind of positive. And for once, we have a awesome oscillator bar that is starting to form. Okay, but it is early Monday morning, so take it with a massive pinch of salt. Let's just look what happened last week. We still ended up with buyers coming in. Okay, so you can see how the buyers stepped in and pushed the price up. So we've got another rejection bar off the Bollinger. Okay, so that is still. Sorry, I'm just looking back. I just want to see whether this trend line impacts us at all. I suppose the best way to do it is actually draw it in. Okay, not really. So let's just delete that. The one that we need to worry about is that one. Okay, so so I think at this stage we're still in the middle of the Bollinger. There's nothing really to write home about on the weekly. This weekly level that I've been talking about for the last 2-3 weeks is still in play. Okay, so we did close above it on Friday. So it's 3 weeks that we closed. 4 weeks in a row that we closed above it. So hopefully that is the final attempt to break below it, and we now start moving to the upside. So that's what we want to watch for this week. So on the daily, okay, daily we are in a squeeze. Now, what really concerns me when we sit on a trend line like this, okay, is that there's a probability, high probability that it's going to break to the downside. Okay, so often when you see price hovering on a trend line like this and not going up, you know what I mean, just keeps hovering along the trend line like this, often it breaks the downside. So this is a concern. It's also below the alligator, and the alligator, we're going to have to zoom in. The alligator's nowhere. Alligator's sleeping, so it's not crossed over or anything on the daily. So this is a bit of a concern, is that you've got this this pattern that's formed here. However, this is the beauty about trading, is there are always two sides to the story, and you can almost always find equal opportunity for the bulls and the bears in certain scenarios. So at this stage, we're hovering on a trend line which is looking like we're going to roll over and break this trend line, and then the bulls will be looking at this saying, this is a flat top triangle, we're waiting for a break above here to add to our trade. Okay, so that's kind of the setup that I see. This trend line here, this weekly trend line, is the big line in the sand. Okay, and it has been for a couple of days now, or months now, just over a month. So this is the area that we need to stay above. Okay, now let's just get down to the 4 hour, because now you're going to see another signal here. So you've got, you see the flat top triangle is more prevailing here. We're above the 200 EMA, and the alligator is starting to point to the upside on the 4 hour. So the bias at the moment for me is definitely to the long side. Okay, obviously I'd like to see a break above here, break above this purple line that I've put in, which will then give me some confidence to the upside. And what that will also do will give us a 440 point move, which is substantial on the Dow. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm watching very, very closely at this stage. Now, what I'm going to do here is just put this trend line in. So this trend line is a trend line that we've been watching all of last week, and how we got to it. We didn't break through it. We sold off, and then the buyer stepped in. Okay. Right. So this is, for me, looking pretty bullish anyway. I'm going to trade in the short term. In other words, I'm really only looking at the bars that are on my chart at the moment. So the bigger view, this trend line is not really a trend line to me. It's not a weekly trend line. What it is, it's a short-term trend line, and it's running like that. Okay, so we've had one. This is the second touch on this top line, and we've had two touches on the bottom. So it's not very well defined. I'd like another touch on the bottom, would be nice. But who's to say we're going to get that? Okay, the other thing is we could very well have had the test of this on Friday. So that we broke through, came back, tested on Friday, and now we've pretty much opened up with a nice engulfing green candle. Okay, there's nothing really to look at on the awesome oscillator or on the MACD. I don't see anything there on the 4 hour. Let's just get down to the hour and see what we've got here. Okay, so yeah, so for me, this is to the upside. Momentum right now is to the upside, and we should still be long. We should have been long at this break here. So as soon as we broke through the alligator here, because this was a fractal. So this, let me just put in. That was a fractal on the hour. Okay, I lie. Sorry, there's only one. But it depends how you look at it. Because some people will draw that in as a fractal. It's not strong enough for me. In other words, I've got a high there. This side, I've got two lower highs on that side, and then I've got a lower high, but it's an equal lower high. Two lower highs, but one's not lower than the other one. To me, I'd want to see two bars further down. So some people see that as a fractal. I don't. To me, this is the fractal here. So this is a fractal. You can see there's my high, my lower high, my lower high, lower high, lower high. So that's fractal. This one here is a fractal to the downside. This is fractal to the upside. So the break of this fractal here, which happened above the red line of the alligator, is an indication that momentum is changing and moving to the upside. So that would have been a good entry to be long. That would have been Friday morning, 10 o'clock. Okay, and you should still be long on that because there's no reason to get out of any longs at this stage. So what I'm looking for is any kind of pullback will be a good entry to be long, as far as I'm concerned. A break above this level is going to give us confidence for a proper move to the upside, and like I said, that's 450 points from there to there, 454 pips. Okay, so for me, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some kind of bullish action. Where it's going to come, I don't know. I am concerned about Europe at this stage. A lot of noise happening in Europe. So I think I'll just wait for the US Open rather to trade this one. And any kind of bullish action on the 200 EMA on the hour or off the red line or even the blue line on the alligator here will be my cue to be long. And if we do break above this level here, that long will turn to be a swing trade. Okay, and the swing trade will be to aim for this 450 odd points. Okay, so before we shut off, let's just put this in 450 points. Let's put a level in and let's just look to the side to see what it ties up with. Nothing. 25,150. 25,150. Okay, so not a previous high, but probably that high there. Not all-time highs, but a very good possibility of hitting that level there, 25,100 area. But that's kind of what I'm looking at this stage. So play this triangle. If it does break, move it to the upside. Otherwise, look for an entry down here. And if we do break above this, there's definitely there is no reason to get out of the long at this stage. Not on the hour. Okay, on the 4 hour, we have just broken through the alligator, so I would still expect a bit of sideways motion before we move to the upside. Okay, so and what I'm getting at is, if you look at the 4 hour, when we break through the alligator like this, sideways motion, come and test the break, and then we move. And you can see this move here was 700 points. So on the Dow, this kind of sideways motion that we've had, I'm kind of assuming that we are done, and we're going to move and start targeting some bigger areas, which is going to give us a little bit of swing trades. Well, a few. Let me correct myself. It's going to give us a few swing trade setups. Okay, and it's not an extremely high probability. It's sort of a 50-50 probability for me at the moment. We're going to need to break this level. If we break this triangle, then I'll have a lot more confidence. Now, I just want to point out something before we go. Now, and this relates to the awesome oscillator. So if you look here, from 21st of March 2016, all the way through to today, okay, it's almost 2 years, now over 2 years. The awesome oscillator has not dropped below the zero. So momentum has been to the upside from here. It has been hovering here, but the question is, if this green bar for this week ends green, and then we've got a good chance of the next week being green and the next week green, so momentum will start picking up. So it's almost like there's an increase in momentum that is building at this stage. So it's almost like a pressure pot, and very typical of a triangle pattern. So triangle pattern like such. Okay, so very typical of a triangle pattern is you have momentum that is squashed and then slowly starts building, and then eventually it explodes like this. Okay, so just trying to find you a weekly scenario. Nothing really there, but there you can see there's a proper explode. You can see how momentum is low, 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 and then all of a sudden we explode up, and then momentum picks up and the buyers step in. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for some kind of a nice big bullish weekly bar this week. If we can get that, then this trend will resume. Okay, now I've got this line drawn wrong, because what we should be doing, so we could argue that that's been the break and it's been the retest. Okay, or alternatively, we're basically looking at that, and to me that is more the trend. The reason being is just because we're slap bang in the middle here, and from my experience, whenever we sort of hover in the middle like this of the Bollinger Band, there's something about to happen, whether it's a break to the downside or a break to the upside, and your lower time frames will define that. If you look at the weekly, you can see we're just consolidating right in the middle of the Bollinger Band here. There's a squeeze building, and here you can see there was a squeeze building, and look what happened. Okay, you can see here's another squeeze. Look what happened. Okay, these squeezes aren't that big. Here's another squeeze here, and look what happened. And here's a massive squeeze here, and then look what happened. Okay, so this is a critical area right now, and I think for me, my bias is still to the upside. This trend line is what my line in the sand is. If we break below this, then the 200-day EMA is going to be next. But for now, it's longs, and I'm looking for longs. Pretty much any setup that I can find close to the alligator is what it's going to boil down to. Anyway, guys, I hope that helps, and stay safe, stay profitable, and I'll catch you guys later.